All right, we're taking a look now at the String-2 problem from Coding Bat called wordEnds. It's the last one in String-2, and that tends to mean it's going to be a hard one. So what is this supposed to do? So this one's tricky. Basically, you're going to get a big, long string of letters, and you're also going to receive another string that is meant to be this word string. And what you're going to do is you're going to search your first string of, a bunch of random characters for every occurrence of the word string. And then you're going to create a new string that's going to be stitched together with all the characters that precede and follow the word string for every occurrence in the str string. So here's a good example. I'll zoom in. We're taking a look at, we're looking for the letters, the string XY, that's our word. And we're going to search in this string for all the occurrences of XY. So for example, here's one. So we're going to grab the C and the 1, and we're going to add that to our new string. And then we're going to find the next XY, and we're going to grab the 3 and the I, and put that into our word string. And there it is. That is the answer that we'll return. So basically searching this space here for the word string and grabbing the characters that precede and follow it to create our new string. There are some complications, of course. This is coding bad. So we have, for example, what if the XY starts at the beginning? Well, we still want the 1. We can't get anything from before it, so we just omit that. And if we have an XY at the end, well, we still want the 3, but there's nothing to get from after it. So it's just going to be 1, 3. The 1 came from the first XY, and the 3 came from the last XY. There you go. And hey, just to make things fun, we can overlap as well. So in this one, the first XY will give us the 1, and the last XY will also give us a 1. So we get 1, 1. So things, one character can be copied twice if they're, close enough to 2 XYs. Okay, so there you go. That's this question, and I hope that made sense. But if you're watching this video, you probably didn't make sense. So what did I do to solve it? So let's go through my solution. Well, first of all, I do a little bit of variable creation here because I don't want to use word.length and string.length all the way through this. So I don't know if it's but they're not great variable names, not super proud of them. But I have W for the word's length, so in this case it would be an XY, so that would be 2. Then I have S for the string's length, and that's going to be, this whole string. There's going to be uses for these, and then I can just refer to it as W or S. Is that the best name? I don't know. It'll do for now, and if you prefer something a little more robust, then I salute you, because maybe W length or W len or something would be better than just plain W. Here is our string that we're going to build upon for our string builder question, and we'll eventually return this. Ands refers to answer. Okay, so what do I do? So here's the trick. What I'm going to be using is I'm going to be using index of a lot. I'm going to use index of to find the first occurrence of x, y, and then I'm going to be using index of, but the variation with 2 parameters, so I can jump to the next x, y, because index of just returns the first occurrence of x, y. So I want to get to the next one afterwards. So that's how I'm going to do it. So that means I'm going to use a while loop, not a for loop. And that means I'm going to keep on looping as long as I is greater than or equal to 0, because if index of returns a negative number, that means I haven't found an xy. So either right at the beginning there's no xy, in which case my answer is already correct, or after searching sort of after the first one and second one and so on, if I eventually find no xy's, which that will happen since strings are finite, then this will eventually trigger this loop to end. So that's a really good way of doing it. So I'll show you the whole sort of while loop here, and I'll have this solution posted in Teams so you can read the comments, but I'll just explain it. So as long as I is greater than equal to 0, which means as long as we have x, y's, as long as we're finding x, y's, or whatever the word happens to be, it doesn't necessarily have to be x, y, then I'll do the following. So first of all, I'll try to grab the character in front of the word, right? In front of the XY in the example. And I'll add that to the answer string, but I'm only going to do that if I'm not at the beginning of the string, right? Because that's bad news. If I'm at the beginning of the string, then I minus 1 would be -1. No good, right? That's not going to be good. So it'll just not do this if we are at the beginning of the string. So perfect. And then also this here, I'm just checking to see if we're at the, if our word or XY in our example is at the end of the string. And I don't know, I was thinking about it, like I probably could have done a little bit better job of this. I don't think it's a big deal. This is the length of the string. As long as it's greater than my current position that I got from the index of word plus the length of the word. So what that's all about is when I do index of, if I go back to my example here, it'll, like if I did index of and I found this xy at the end, then it would return the index at the beginning of the x, right? I don't, and I want to find out if I'm at the end, so I have to add the length of the word to see if it went beyond the length. So that's why I have I plus the length of the word there. I'm trying to see if I'm at the end. So if this number is greater than the string's length, well, I'm past that. And sorry, I am not past that, I should say, because this is greater. So if that's the case, it's not the end. And I'm safe to go ahead and grab the character that's just right after the word or XY in the example. So that's basically me extracting those letters that are before and after the word, okay, with my safety precautions. And then here's the magic. This is where, I don't know if magic's the right word, but this is my technique. I simply take, I guess, and I reset it to be the index of the next occurrence of the word after the current place I found it. So if you send it a int parameter after your sort of searching parameter for what you're searching for, then it will look from here on. It won't start at the beginning of the string, like regular index of just starts at the beginning of the string. This will be a start position. So I won't find the same xy, I'll find the next xy. If there are no more xy's, it'll return -1, and that'll trip the loop to stop. But if there are other xy's, it'll jump to that next xy, and I'll do the same process again and again until eventually it finds no more xy's or whatever the word is, and that'll trip that, and I'll return the answer. Yeah? Does that make sense? So I really like this technique of using index of to kind of leap from one piece to the next, whatever is your sort of interesting thing is you're looking for. And you could put that in, for example, a while loop in order to drive your parsing of your string. And it's a great technique for any kind of situation where you're looking for particular markers. I think this technique would also work really well for the Pig Latin question that you're doing in problem set 4b, which so you could jump from one space to the next in order to get sort of each individual words out of there. Okay, so anyways, that's wordEnds. Hopefully that made sense, and if not, talk to me in class, and hopefully we can look it over together and make it make more sense. Anyways, thanks for all the hard work you're doing, everyone, and we'll see you in class.